All right, welcome back to the Pure Playbook. We have another special guest with us. I'm Dr. Dustin Boston with the athletic trainer herself, Erin Ruggieri. Super exciting one. We have a current client in the building, and I'll let her tell her story. I always want to jump the gun and say people's story for them. But we are here with who we love to call Sarge, a.k.a. KP. Kristen Prest is with us. Super excited to have you on. Thank you for doing this.
Thank you.
This is going to be good. I don't know where the heck this is going to go, but
I don't either. I kind of like that, though. This part.
But the cool thing is she's got a great story to tell. We're going to talk about, we always talk about life after sport. No matter how old you are, whether it's 18, whether it's 48, there's always life after sport, and this is going to be a cool one to talk about. But I love the fact that we are alma mater sharing. And so we all sitting here went to Lindenwood University, which is super cool. And so before we jump into a lot of that, I just kind of want to let you, we also want to know, where'd you come from? Where'd you come from? We know where you went. But just kind of give us the come up. What have you been up to? Where'd you grow up?
I'm a St. Charles girl through and through.
Really?
All through St. Charles. I went to Emmanuel Lutheran, preschool through 8th grade, went to St. Charles West, then went to Lindenwood.
Mm-hmm.
The furthest I've ever gone from St. Charles is my current job, which is in the Maplewood Police Department.
Yeah.
Everything else has been very local, if you will.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that already. It seems like a lot of our community though is really hometown people.
Yeah.
And what a great area to be from, for sure. A lot of our listeners, and if you're new, we are kind of in the St. Louis area, just west of St. Louis. We're in the St. Charles County area in St. Louis. But so let's just dive into the hockey scene, because going from this podcast, we always talk about when it comes to the pure athlete side of our practice, and why we created the Pure Playbook podcast was to talk about three major pillars. And it's physical, mental, relationships. So talking about resources, bringing relevant resources in or guests in to kind of share their story, because there's a lot of student athletes and parents that want more resources, don't know where the hell to go, who the hell to trust. That's one of my pitches. It's like, why do you do what you do? Why'd you create this? And that's really it. So getting people to know that, one, you're not the only one with a similar story. And so having people like you on is great, but kind of take us through your sporting come up. What is it? I mean, you were a hockey player at Lindenwood. We talk about golf a lot now.
We do.
But what else coming up? Did you play any other sports, or how did you end up in hockey?
I ended up in hockey because of my brother. He got into hockey. One of his buddies did it, and I remember going to his hockey games when I was really young, like 8 years old, begging my parents to let me play. Just sitting in the stands watching them play. I knew that this was a sport that I could just enjoy and really love. And so finally they're like, okay, we'll let you play. But I think they were hesitant at first, mainly because I was already playing big time, a lot of soccer. That was my original sport, because I went to Lindenwood for both soccer and ice hockey.
Oh.
In fact, my scholarship was for soccer.
Oh, cool.
So I actually missed like half of the hockey season. I would have to play, because I was a goalie for soccer, so I would have to play the entire soccer season. And then once that season was over with, finish up with the hockey team, and that would start at J term, and finish up the season.
Yeah.
But I played basketball as well, soccer, basketball, softball. I mean, St. Charles West, when I played, we had an excellent softball team.
Yeah.
And somehow I ended up on the varsity team as a freshman. Didn't play a whole lot, but I learned a whole lot.
Somehow, you're so humble.
Yeah.
Somehow.
But yeah, it was, so by the time I got to college, I knew I wanted to be a dual sport athlete. I knew I wanted to play soccer and ice hockey, so I cut out basketball my senior year, because I knew it was screwing up my knees. I didn't want anything to do with it or risk any further injury.
Right.
And so Lindenwood just started the hockey program in 2004. I was a freshman at Lindenwood in 2005. So, and it just kind of all aligned.
Yeah.
Ironically, because I had other schools. I was looking at Minnesota, all the stuff, and
Roll Gophs.
Yeah, yeah.
Roll Ghost.
But yeah, it just kind of all fell in place
Yeah.
without a whole lot of, it was meant to be.
Yeah.
It just happened.
That's awesome. We on the you know how many dancers we have in this
Oh,
building a lot.
yes.
So, but we're a little partial to Minnesota. We're on a huge Minnesota kick right now.
I
but-
understand. It's a great state. Minnesota nice. Everyone there is very kind.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. I've got a couple friends that practice up in Minnesota still, which is super cool. So we'll go up there and visit. So you played soccer. So you were a goalie in soccer. What did you play on the ice?
So for the majority of
Pull
growing
that mic
up,
a little closer to you, just a little bit. There you go.
majority of growing up, I was a defenseman. And then my coach realized I had way too much energy by my junior year in college, and so he pushed me up to forward. So my last 2 years, I played forward. I'm a natural defenseman, though, I would say. I'm an offensive-minded defenseman.
Oh, okay.
So with a lot of energy. So like if you need me to fill a gap in the forward position, I'm a natural go up, push up, but like defenseman. Probably.
You're jumping pucks left and right.
Yeah,
People
yeah.
are covering your ass on the back end because you're
They
jumping
are.
pucks.
I'm going up, going back.
You didn't want to put the pads on and be between the pipes?
I was in roller hockey when I first started playing roller hockey. I actually was a goalie, and I actually enjoyed it. But roller hockey is a different vibe. I preferred ice hockey for sure.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's I started in roller hockey as well, and it is a lot different. We've got the boys playing hockey now too, and we'll put the rollerblades on in the basement. And I told them the first time they were on rollerblades, I'm like, because they started on ice, and they're almost 5 and 7 now, but they put the rollerblades on the first time. I'm like, just stand there. It's different. Like there's no bite. Like the wheels just go. Like there's no bite like there
Right.
is on the ice. So they busted their ass a couple times and they figured it out.
It's character building.
It is.
How we learn.
What would you say? Give us some hurdles you had coming up before we get into how you transitioned and what you're doing now. But coming up, playing all those different sports, what are some hurdles you had, or some resources you wish you had, or give us some of the under the water scenes.
In terms of injuries or
Injuries, or resources, or what it taught you as far as dynamics with social skills and time
There's-
management, anything.
It's time management a lot. That's kind of, especially being a dual sport athlete, it's all about time management and communication with your two different coaches, and just trying to figure that all out, because you want to be social, but you really don't have time to be social, and you're for the first time kind of on your own, especially being a freshman, trying to figure that out. Like I came from a very structured, my mom is very structured, and I went from that to, okay, you're on your own now.
Yeah.
And like for my freshman year, that was rough. My sophomore year, I was able to figure it out. But like by the time I was a junior and senior, I noticed that like you can find me in like 4 or 5 different locations. It's either going to be at Hunter Stadium, Lindenwood, the Wentzville Ice Rink, the gym, the classroom, or the library. But it took me a little bit to acclimate.
Yeah.
And that was, for me, that was difficult. There's some athletes probably maybe not so much, or maybe harder, but like you need to find a good core group of friends and teammates that are going to kind of be on your same level and vibe with them, and like kind of we're in this together. If you get some friends that want to be more social, very, very social, that's not going to work, especially being a dual sport athlete. That's just not going to work.
Right.
There's different parameters when you're talking about a dual sport athlete to a single
Yeah.
and in college level.
Yeah.
We hear that a lot. I mean, even, some of our, even just general population, some of the college students that we see, but on the student athlete side, that's a common topic is, it's not even like we're not hearing so much about the culture shock anymore. It's like when we narrow it down, it's the time management. It's like, because we talked about this on another podcast where it's like a lot of athletes know what they need to do, but then they lose track of either when that is, or they lose track of, when they do need a little bit of downtime. It's like sometimes they don't realize how much time they do and don't have, and then they fall behind. So it's like they know what they need to do, but okay, when do I get all this done? in between what I know I have to be at. I have to be at
Yeah.
practice. Well, in college, it's like you should sleep, but you know, I have to sleep. I have to be at practice. I have to be at class. But there's so many different dynamics. And then being a 2-sport athlete, it's like, holy cow! I always tell them this is the least busy you'll ever be, even in high school. Like, oh, I play club soccer. I play this. They're doing all the things. I'm training, and they're like, man, I'm just. And I'm like, this is the least busy you'll ever be.
Right.
And then you hit college, and then even as a single sport athlete, it's like, this is the least busy you will ever be. And then you get out of college, and it's like, holy cow, I didn't know I could be busier. It's like, okay, well, sports are done, the practices are done, and it's just a different style of busy. And it's like, so the time management is huge.
It's so, it can't be understated. Like that is, and it's, like you said, and where do I find time with like personal, with a personal life? It's difficult.
So were most of your friends, was most of your circle, I mean, were they athletes, or did you have a fair amount of, no?
All athletes. Like, I mean, because again, it's all about who you have to align almost with athletes, because they understand your schedule. They just understand that kind of structure that you need to have. Obviously you have friends that you stay close with from like high school. Yeah. But there was only a few and a handful, and but they get it. Yeah.
It's like those that I feel that are with you through high school, if they weren't athletes, they've been a part of your life for that long. Like they know, like they just innately know what you're about, what you do, and like you said, they understand that.
Right.
Going into college, it's like it's like putting a bad orange next to all the fresh oranges, because it's like if you try to change your circle too much, and you can do that. You have to be very, very disciplined if you're gonna go kind of outside of that main circle. I always say my circle's more like an oval. Not just a racing reference, but it is a shameless racing reference. But it really was. It's like my circle is more like an oval, and so it's like I had all these people, but some of them were farther away from the center. But in the middle of it, I would say too, like probably most of my friends that I carried through my baseball career and into college were also athletes. So it's like, and it's easier to find those like-minded people, because even in the locker room, it's like you have those that's like, I'm going to Maine, let's go. And it's like, hang on, pump the brakes. And you kind of, again, there's the oval. It's like, just because they're on my team, they might be out here on the turn 2 wall, but there's a fair amount of teammates too that are like, okay, no, we're on board. And it's smaller, it's more concentrated, but
for sure. It was sad for us. It was like, well, for me, it was Saturday nights. That was like my big night. Yeah. Because we play hockey Friday night, game 1, game 2 Saturday night, and then let's go. Yeah. And then like reset, take the whole day Sunday, and then let's go again Monday. That's your routine.
So what outside of sports? Did you do anything outside of sports? Like if you put sports on the back burner for a second and you had something like, you know what, I'm going to forget about this for the next 12 hours. I mean, was there anything else you were into or enjoyed to do outside of? That's
like my whole identity. Yeah. Is sports. Feel that. And like law enforcement. I knew from my earliest memory, I was supposed to be a police officer. So it's always been sports. And how do I become a police officer? Yeah. And that's it. That's all I ever known.
What did you study at Lindenwood?
Criminal justice.
Okay.
Yeah. With a minor in sociology.
Yeah.
But and by no means does that make me like I wasn't perfect.
Yeah.
Like I did some things.
I lived. I lived
a life.
To tell the tale.
Super green, but like I always knew that that's what I was supposed to, and that's my whole identity. If you take sports away from me, I don't know really who it would be.
Yeah, we literally talked about it on the podcast we recorded earlier.
Yeah, you just become your jersey. You become everything.
Yeah, I mean, it's like you once you're an athlete and you play at the levels that some of us are blessed to play at. It's like that is who you are, and we think a lot differently. Yeah. And even in law enforcement, there's things that you probably do, and it's just like. The thought process is different. Like you strip everything away. It's like, what's the one thing you have left that you can always go back to and know, like, if nothing else, if the whole world falls apart again, and what do I know? What can I go back to? What do I know is certain is I know I can compete. I know I can train. I know I can be driven. Like I can go back to my athlete circle.
Yeah.
Right. You take that away from me, I really don't know.
Yeah.
I would say maybe go to the gym, but that's still an athletic
Right.
thing
Right.
to do.
You can't get away from it.
Yeah, I know.
I'll take up needlepoint or something.
Lindenwood, from what I remember, has a great CJ program. The criminal
Yes.
justice
Uh-huh.
program was. I had a
Yeah.
lot of friends that went through that. A lot of shooters, Olympic shooters,
Oh,
and things like that.
The
But
shooting team's fantastic.
So good.
Yes, for many, many years they've been fantastic. Like consistently.
Yes.
So good. Yes.
Yeah, I wanted to play art. Like I wanted to be on the archery team whenever I was there. I wanted to do a dual sport. They don't let you do that anymore.
she's from
but-
Narnia, is what we
No.
call it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we live
What's
on a
your
lot
animal?
of. Well, we live on a lot of land, so just in the middle of nowhere. So my friends coined it Narnia.
Narnia. I love that.
It's in St. Louis, but it's just in Narnia.
And are you ever going to take me there?
Sure.
Okay.
We can have a bonfire.
Yeah,
Let's
way
do
South
it.
County, back in the woods.
Yeah.
Ooh, South County.
You go up a
that's
gravel
different
road,
energy,
some more
yeah.
gravel road, windy road. Then
I'm
you're
from
there.
Cuba, Missouri, so it's like we go down Florida.
That's that.
Float capital USA. You want
Should
to?
I bring my passport? Like,
Yeah, you got to scan it to get on the float.
yeah,
For the
yeah,
float
no,
trip.
Yes. That's where all like the starting point for the river.
It's all right there. What's it?
Which the rivers?
Where did I go by Cuba?
Well, depending on there's Bass Resort, there's Ozark Outdoors, there's Huzaw, there's so many different.
I think it was Huzaw.
Huzaw,
Yeah.
Blue Spring.
These
yeah.
rivers are always so shallow.
Yes.
I feel like I'm dragging the raft the whole time.
You gotta like put your butt up sometimes a little bit.
yeah, you gotta enter the
scooting along.
angle.
Yeah, you gotta like use your flip flop to
Yeah.
scoot you along.
Digging the
start dra-
paddle.
Yeah. Upper body. It's just an upper body workout.
It is. It is.
So, what else on this? What's on the athlete side? What's some of the biggest takeaways you've had other than the time management? But what are some takeaways that you can look back on and this is what this taught me, or some things that you wish you would have known more. If you could do it over again, what would you want to know more about or have more access to?
I would take stretching way more seriously. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it sounds very minute or minuscule, but I always thought it was a waste of time. Mm-hmm. And wow, wildly incorrect.
Right.
I wish I took my injuries more seriously when I felt an onset of discomfort to be more proactive with it. But I say that now as I'm older, because I feel like maybe I'm feeling things more. I don't know, but like But I remember at Lindenwood before a soccer game or a hockey game, I would show up like 4.5 hours before the game. It would take me that long to get injury prepped before the game, and then warm up and warm up on your own, and then warm up with your team out there.
Yeah.
And so but like even still, I didn't take it that seriously. Like they're like iced it after the game. I'm like, okay,
Yeah, no doubt.
Oh, I forgot. Gotta go.
What's so you do bring up some, obviously you've had some injuries. I mean, what injuries did you have? I mean,
One of my biggest injuries I had was I was in soccer and it was a low kick and I was doing a forward dive and I hit the ground with my knee, really awkward, and it made the compartments, the fluid, pop and go. And so I had like that injury, so that was very uncomfortable. I've hyperextended my elbow, my arm a few times by like extending out to dive for a ball. Like say it's a cross or I'm trying to punch it out. And the girls would just like run through you as they should. It's a
Right.
physical game.
Right, right.
We're all trying to get to the ball.
Right.
You
Same
know?
common goal, just different way of getting there,
Just different way. And so and it would hyperextend my elbow and stuff like that. And I think I didn't really take my sprained ankles very seriously, and that's a big one.
Yeah.
I have like still issues with my sprained ankles. They get pretty stiff. My ankles get stiff.
yeah, that's and that's something that we're really solving for, and through this also trying to bring to the forefront is, we don't live in a bubble, especially as an athlete, and so the injuries and things like that are going to happen. But more people are looking now for, okay, how can we evaluate where I'm at? How is my body functioning? what's the data I need, is what's out there as far as prehab instead of reactive rehab after an injury. And it's like we always tend to take care of ourselves when we feel it. Like you were saying, we've all been through it. We can all speak to that, but it's time to change the game. And with what we're doing now, and even some of the things that, we talked about this before we started, some of the things that you're experiencing here is it's like, it's fun to see people starting to, one, look for things that they can do way ahead of time to invest in themselves to be better, and parents looking for that too, because much like yours, potentially, we often hear that parents are like, where do we go? Who do we trust? And now more than ever, we're starting to hear that. So it's like, listen up here. It's like, take those things seriously, put in the time. If you're going to show up 4.5 hours early, take it seriously and figure out what are some things you can do. And if you're not getting those resources, whether it's on campus or at a team, whether they just don't have the resources, or maybe they're not too forthcoming and actually giving you those, if they're just punching the clock, you'll have those situations. I don't think that's everywhere, but either speak up or look for those things. And, if we can be a resource for you, like, reach out, because there's so many people, like those parents that, have student athletes that are listening, and the student athletes that are listening, like, speak up and say something, but just know now, let us take the bumps and bruises earlier and pay that dummy tax and take it seriously. Like, really take care of yourself.
Yeah.
When did you graduate Lindenwood?
2010 technically.
Okay.
2010 technically. I was a super senior.
Super senior.
Yeah.
Forcefully or electively?
It kind of, so Lindenwood has a really good, as you mentioned, CJ program. And you can go into the police academy for like the last part of your semester. And I didn't realize it was the last part of the semester. So I had to almost do an extra semester or two to like get into that program, that part of the program. So that's how I ended up being a super senior. And I at that point, you couldn't, the 5-year senior wasn't a thing. That's,
Right.
I think that's more of a COVID thing.
Yeah,
nowadays.
Yeah.
eligibility rules,
So I ended up being a grad assistant for the soccer program, and I was a goalie coach during that extra year, waiting for like that spring, January to like May, June, because the police academy starts in January.
Okay.
And it's a 6-month program. So
nice.
that's, yeah.
Well, before we jump into that, your wife Jessica.
Yes.
When did she come along? When did?
Yeah, 2014.
Really?
2014. Yeah. We got married in 2016, which is kind of perfect. I got like the first few years of my profession in that like that dig that you're in, like you're just focused, trying to make a name for yourself, or just trying to figure it out.
Create your own security.
Figure it out. Like that grind, that first few years of your profession, that's a grind.
Yeah.
So I was able to get that in, and she was able to get in too with her profession. She's a pilot for the Air Force and for now Delta. She flew the KC-135 in the Illinois Air Force.
Oh.
The flying gas station, basically.
The flying gas station, yes.
And cargo jet. Yeah. But so I mean, we met on Tinder.
Oh, really?
And we met in Schlafly. I was like, we're going to Schlafly and Maplewood. If this chick's a creep, I'm out.
Right, you're like,
I
hey,
need backup.
yeah, like, hey, friend, pull up.
Yeah. I called like a couple of guys that were working the street. I'm like, hey, code word is banana. Come in and bring me out. Hey, we got to use you.
Yeah.
We need you to testify for something. We'll figure it out on the way.
Yeah. Never use the code word.
Well, good.
Yeah.
Good. But so that was, well, I guess that would have been
So I started
5 years after you graduated.
Yeah.
Ish.
So I broke my finger in the police academy, but that's a whole nother that's like this thing's still crooked, but that's a whole nother issue. But yeah, I
She's like, here, look at this.
Look at this thing. Yeah. So I started with Maplewood in March 2011, and I met Jessica in like June 2014. So.
So as you started that career, again, life after sport, you always knew you were going to do that, like you mentioned earlier. So you get out of the police academy, and you've always been at Maplewood.
Always. Yes. Yeah. So, and there's a little bit of a gap from when I graduated the academy to when I got hired by Maplewood. And I'm also, I really enjoy history a lot. And at that time, I worked at the Daniel Boone home because Lindenwood used to own that property.
Yeah.
So I worked there as part of that program. You
Right.
kind of like work through things. I gave tours.
Oh, cool.
And so after I graduated Lindenwood, they're like, hey, you were fine coming back and we'll just actually like hire you. So there was like a 3 or 4 month gap from when I graduated the police academy and when Maplewood hired me. There was like 4 months. And I worked in between at the Daniel Boone home.
Giving tours?
Giving tours, yeah.
That's cool.
And telling people,
I remember
like,
going
hey,
out there.
don't touch anything. I am trained. Don't put you down.
Yeah.
Don't touch that wood with your oily fingers.
No, yeah. This is a federal offense.
Yeah.
We're on protected property.
Yeah.
Don't touch it. So kind of walk us through, because you're a sergeant now.
I am, yeah.
So was Maplewood always on the map? Like, was that a pick, or did that just come about?
It came about, yeah. It come about. Titanic.
Love it.
Yeah. I remember being in the police academy and there was an opening for Maplewood, and I vaguely, again, everything has been St. Charles for me. I'm not familiar with anything east of the bridge.
Right.
I'm familiar with Chesterfield
Yeah.
because that's where I played hockey a lot growing up. But that's about it.
And the Dove
Yeah.
Mall.
Yeah, oh,
That's about it.
that's about it. Yes. And so I remember going up to an instructor and saying, hey, what do you know about Maplewood? Is it a good department? And they're like, oh, yeah, it's a great department. Benefits, the pay, it's amazing. It would be... You don't deserve Maplewood, basically. Like
Really?
you're like, he was messing with me. It's like, you're not good enough. They're probably looking for more seasoned officers. I was like, bet.
Bet, bring it on.
Thank you for saying that. I appreciate that.
So I put in for it, and so did like half of the academy class, and like they started getting picked up by St. Louis County, and then a fellow academy classmate, Louis Boucher. He got hired on by Maplewood, and then I got hired on by Maplewood. So we went from police academy together, and now we're both at Maplewood together. So I rolled the dice. I said, bet.
Yeah.
I got it.
You told me I can't, so I will.
I will. Yeah, and the instructor was correct though. It's a great department. Yeah. It's a great community. And that's probably what I love the most about it. And the command staff is just they're not in their heads. There's no egos really. It's just like it's just so awesome there.
People they're people. Yeah,
they're people. The communication's great. You have rookie officers coming in that aren't afraid to talk to the lieutenants. That says something, and that's a culture that needs to be with this profession. It's hard enough to get a police officer, let alone a young guy, and why be a certain way to them? Bring them in, bring them part of your blue family, and like embrace them.
Yeah, they've already been through boot camp.
And they've been through it. Like they clearly want to be here. So
Right.
it's like, let's go. We're a family now.
So was the goal to stay in St. Charles County though? Like, did you want to stay St. Charles? Did you want to stay
I knew
county?
I wanted to go away from where I grew up.
Okay.
Because I have a friend, Lisa Schweppe, who is a St. Charles City police officer, and she's been on a little bit longer than me. I've been on for about 13 years, and she's about 15, 16 years, maybe longer. But I've seen growing up and working as a police officer in the same spot.
Yeah.
Let's not.
Okay.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fair enough. So what's next in the career path of Sarge? What's the
Chronicles.
goals? What are your
Chronicles.
what's
What are
the
the
goal?
chronicles?
I have a lot of goals for Maplewood. I'm a big health and wellness person. I'm very obviously dedicated to that. I think it started with like just wanting nylon belts, very small things. Like, hey, let's get nylon belts for better flexibility, so better for your back, because we have a history. Law enforcement has a history of back issues.
Yes.
And then load-bearing vests. Yeah. Mr. Chiropractor. But yeah, and then a load-bearing vest, putting, especially a small-framed officer, or anybody really, but like I couldn't fit all of my tools on my belt. I just couldn't. And now I'm violating policy because I'm supposed to have like secondary weapons, and I don't.
Yeah.
It won't fit. And I can't have them back here because I'm driving. You know, so I push for load-bearing vests, which is why you see officers wearing those now. Like, and it's starting to catch on that it's way better for your body to wear load-bearing vests than having everything at your waist.
Yeah.
And then working out on duty. There's something else that I did. I can't really remember, but the dark uniforms. But that has nothing to do with health and wellness. But like I'm pushing for a therapy dog for my department. I'm pushing for a decompression room for my department.
Yeah.
And I know that that's not like a common thing, but it should be.
Yeah.
If you don't want to work out for that hour on duty, then why not go to a room?
Yeah.
And just
Do
mentally,
recovery stuff.
Yeah.
or it's something like anything for your mind and for your body. I'm pushing for that. I have a great chief. Our city manager seems wonderful, and she's newer, but she seems open to those kind of things. Peer support programs. These are my goals.
Sure.
But it's for the benefit for the whole department. My personal goal, I don't know, like
I mean, what's
I
after
don't know.
sergeant? I mean, where do you go from here?
lieutenant would be next technically if I was going to move up in rank.
SWAT.
No, that's the problem about Maplewood. It's like we don't have that.
Yeah.
It's a small department. And bike patrol, that was the other thing. I pushed hard for bike patrol. Maplewood's all residential.
Okay.
It's a 1.25 mile square. It's perfect for bicycle patrol. And like why not work out and get paid at the same time?
Yeah.
This is a win-win situation.
Yeah.
Work out, pay,
Yeah.
and serve.
Save on
all at
gas.
the same-
Serve. Yeah, I could tell people I'm professional cyclists.
Yes.
They have no idea if
Their
I really-
unhoned
Well, we don't know if we
potential.
have that in the budget. Well, if we're saving you gas, I'm pretty sure that frees up the
Yeah,
budget.
exactly.
I need a $2,000 bike. That's all I need.
Give me a bike. Yeah.
Give me a bike.
Give me a bike. Yeah. So the bike patrol program is something I definitely push for sure. And but lieutenant would be next. But we only have lieutenant patrol, and we only have lieutenant of the detective bureau.
Okay.
So like Maplewood's a very small department. It's 30. I think we're at 31 officers, top to bottom, including the chief of police. And it's just
Do we
not a
see
whole
a
lot of room.
campaign of pressed for chief?
press for chief.
Is
I could go for that, but I have to put in some more work. But yeah, I wouldn't mind it.
Would you entertain? You'd
Maplewood.
entertain that? Yeah.
I would entertain it for Maplewood.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would entertain it for any other city.
Yeah.
I'm loyal.
Sure.
Yeah, but yeah, press for chief, press for president has a better vibe. Though. Just right in.
Everyone hear that? Write it in.
Yeah.
No, that's super good. That's so now. I mean, do you still play pickup games? Do you still? I mean, I know you're a golfer, and we can talk a little bit of golf now. I mean, what do you do to fulfill the athlete side of? I mean, other than just
all kinds
I
of
work
things.
out. Like
I work
I work out.
Yeah, I do work out at Move on Main.
Well, and here, let me preface this. I'm gonna send a deep dive, and if we go deep, that's great. But here's why I'm thinking this is because one of the biggest things, one of the things I struggled with, honestly, and I think a lot of athletes will say, "Yep, 100%," is the camaraderie of the locker room. Now, I can definitely see going to a police department, and it's kind of, I feel like I shouldn't assume it could be the same kind of vibe.
No, it
but
is.
it is.
100%.
It's different. I mean, there's scoreboards, there's stats, there's a group of, and you're all pushing for the same thing, even with what you do now. But a lot of people, the locker room effect that they lose, it's not about the jersey, it's not about the scoring, it's not about the highlight reel. It's like, holy shit, my family's
Right.
going, like, I don't,
Right.
how do I operate outside of this? And the camaraderie in the locker room, the ass slapping, high fiving, jokes, like all that,
Absolutely.
even that stuff
Yeah.
outside of the competition leaves. And it's like, whoa, talk about a culture shock,
Right.
everything
It
you
is.
were. So what do you do to kind of fulfill that? Or is that something that
Yeah,
you,
a few things, a lot. Like it would be, I wouldn't know what to do if I didn't do these things. But I work out, and I like to work out with the trainer in like group settings because
We talked about
that's
this
a
last
team.
time.
Yeah, that's a team thing.
Yeah.
And I play pickup hockey, beer league hockey.
Yeah.
With the St. Louis Wild. We won nationals a couple years ago. I mean, a lot of the girls on our team are from Lindenwood.
yeah.
And a lot of the girls are not, and they're still absolutely amazing athletes. Hence why we won nationals.
Kind of good.
Yeah, kind of.
I
a
want to
big
jump back to
deal.
that here in a second, but I'm going
Yeah.
to continue on. I'm just going to plug it in my brain. Because you
Plugging
played with
in.
some cool people.
Oh, I played with some awesome people. Yeah, and then Whitmore.
yeah.
Hello.
Yeah.
And I love Whitmore. Whitmore supports Lindenwood. That's where like the Lindenwood golf team plays, and so I do that. It's really I don't play soccer. I'm kind of burnt out with soccer.
Sure.
I would coach it, no problem, but playing it, no.
Yeah.
So ice hockey, I've always been obsessed with. It's ice hockey, going to the gym, and golf. Those are my things right now.
So you won nationals.
A few times, both in college and in beer league.
Well, let's talk
Yes.
about college because I don't know. I was tunnel visioned when I was there. I was just, I need in, get my biochem degree, I'm out, go. So I didn't do a whole lot of extracurriculars, but I know there was some pretty cool, especially on the women's side, the men's team roller and ice, and now their D1 team is now, I think they're getting it together too. It's a big jump, but there's been a lot of cool players even on national teams
Yes.
that you've
Yeah.
played with. So, I mean, you had a couple of girls on those teams. Wasn't one of the, I don't know if you were there, but I know there was a goalie that was on USA or Team Canada,
I
or
believe it's Nicole Hensley.
I believe you're right. I think that's what I'm
yeah.
thinking of. But who all did you?
She was after me, but I mean, everyone still speaks her praises before and after. I mean, you didn't have to play with her. She was known to be a very kind person, and she's a fantastic goalie. She played on the U.S. Women's team. She plays professionally now too. There's our very first captain, Kat Hanna. She's from Canada originally, but she's an elite athlete.
Yeah.
But she played for like Team Canada for like baseball,
Oh,
not softball, baseball. She was like an elite
Wow.
swimmer, pretty good basketball player. Like she was a pitcher for baseball. Oh man, I remember like sometimes she would just be like, "Hey, I need to warm up." And I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just gonna catch, I guess. I don't know. I have no equipment on. She's whipping in like curveballs at 80 miles per hour. I'm like, I don't
You're
know.
like, calm down.
This isn't safe. I have no equipment.
listen, sister.
Yeah, you're like, God damn.
Yeah. I'm just trying to help out a teammate. I'm like, am I gonna get hurt?
Right.
I didn't realize you were such a she could sling in some balls. So Kat Hanna, she was good. The original captain, her number has been retired.
Oh, wow.
Number 5. I don't know where her jersey is in the rafters at Centene, but I would assume it's around somewhere.
Yeah,
But yeah, number 5 is retired.
that's awesome.
Well, when we were ACHA, that number. I don't know if it's the same for NCAA.
Yeah, I
If
don't
they
know.
would like,
I feel like they would
NCAA.
probably roll it over.
Honor,
yeah.
yeah.
I mean, it's still the program. I don't
Yeah.
care what acronym you're a part of. It's like, you can't just take, I wouldn't think you can
Yeah.
take that away.
I'm trying to think. We had a couple girls that played on like the USA development programs, but were they actually rostered? I don't know. On the USA team, Nicole Hensley, I think, is the only one. I had a couple girls though on our team, like Shay Crawford, that played on like the development program, I
Yeah.
believe.
I tell people all the time, and I think the nation at least is starting to see it, that St. Louis is a very underrated talent pool for a lot of sports, and soccer and baseball being two of them, and now hockey and lacrosse. But I truly believe dance is a hotbed here. But there's St. Louis is, I mean, in the people who come here, I mean, even you hear it at the professional level, the people who, like, you ask them, they played for 8 different teams across their career, whether it was hockey or baseball, and they're like, my time in St. Louis was a lot of fun. And so I just, even at the college level, it's cool to hear. And some of the the people that I went to college with, Pierre Desir, who played in the NFL, went to Lindenwood, and there's been a couple others that have come out, but it's to see the talent that has come through even our alma mater. But I mean, you still have SLU, you have some great universities around too, but it's cool that having that talent to play with had to be a lot of fun.
It's super, like, you're just proud.
What year did you win
Proud of-
nationals?
We won my freshman year, my sophomore year, and my senior year. So 05, 06, 09,
Okay.
7, 9. Oh, my math isn't mathing right now, is it?
No.
Yeah.
No, I think you're right.
I won
5,
3
7.
of my 4 years that I was there.
Uh-huh.
I missed a year at some point of nationals where we didn't win. We got second place. And mind you, it was Robert Morris. It was always us and Robert Morris.
Oh, really?
Yes. And we kept playing them. I mean, all 4 years it was us and Robert Morris.
That's wild.
Yeah. For the championship game. Yeah. And then we won 1 extra year after I left. And then the team went NCAA
Yeah.
Division One.
Yeah.
Because I mean, like, you can't deny a team that's won 6 championships in like 7 years,
Right.
or whatever, And I'm very proud of where the program's at now. The coaches are.
You still
are
involved at all?
wonderful. I go to the games quite often. I will mix and mingle with parents. I don't know them. And I don't know their players either. Like, I'm just there. I wear my old jersey,
Aw.
Yeah.
the original Lindenwood jersey, and I go around. I tell them this is the original jersey.
Yes.
Like, I'm an
OG.
OG. I'm an OG.
I'm the OG number 11. Okay. And
Like, who are you?
You're like, who's got my number this year?
yeah. Well, like, and that's the thing. They had like Pride Night one night. And they auction off all of the jerseys after that, and it was such a cool jersey. And I'm like, I'm taking that jersey. I don't know this girl. She's number 11. I don't know her. I feel like I stole this jersey from her. I auctioned. I won the auction.
Yeah.
It's like, but like.
She walks in full get up, and she's like,
Yeah.
"Ma'am, I need to talk to you." She got her in cuffs. She took her jersey from her and took off.
Just to, like,
You
I'm
heard it
like,
here first.
It was just a weird situation because, like, there's this rando just trying to buy this chick's skirt. Like, could you imagine if I was her, I'd be like, who's this weirdo trying to buy my jersey?
She
I don't
really
even
wants
know.
my jersey.
You probably beat
Yeah.
her parents out. How do you feel about that?
Exactly. And I do. I think about that. It kind of, like, concerns me a little bit. And then I want it. And the coach is like, do you want her to sign? I'm like, it's already weird. So let's just make this more weird. Have her sign it. Go ahead. Sign the jersey. And I wear it at the game. And they're like, oh, do you know her? I'm like, no, I don't.
No, I don't.
No, that's just my number, and she was
My
wearing
number.
it.
She's wearing my number. So I ran into, like, I got met a few of the parents, and enough to where, like, they recognize me when I go to and I'll sit next to them. And they're friends with her, like, whatever.
Yeah.
And they're like, could you tell her I'm not a creep? Just first of all, tell her I'm not a creep, and second of all, I won't take her pride jersey for her senior year.
Yeah.
Like, I won't do that. Like, I think it was her freshman year. It's fine. But, like, I'm not going to take her pride jersey for the other years. Like,
Is she still playing?
I believe so. I'm not sure. I think this was maybe her senior year or her junior
Well, then
year.
win the auction and gift it back to her.
That would be, that's cool. What a great idea.
I'm a huge gift giver. I love surprise gift giving. Like, I love it. She actually just posted a reel the other day when I walked in on a dance team with, like,
Yeah.
6 boxes of Starbucks.
Like frappuccinos.
Yeah.
Oh,
But
that's like the ultimate.
so if it's
like
been
his-
weird,
his-
that would make it a hell of a lot less weird.
yeah. Well, I mean, I just feel weird about it. I'm just like, I
This
don't know.
gal is trying to buy my jersey
Again.
again.
Like, what is her problem?
She's like, sit down, let me.
Yeah, I don't know. I think her name is like Rarik or something. I don't think I'm saying her name right, but it's something like that.
I'll pull up the roster after
Yeah.
this. We'll figure it out. She's still
Rarik.
playing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, but yeah. That's a good idea though. Maybe I'll do that. Who knows?
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
It'd be cool to give back.
And she signed it. I loved it. Like I love that jersey.
Yeah.
I'm
They
like,
are cool.
I'll have to show
I
you
haven't seen it. I haven't seen
I'm gonna
it.
say they've
It's
been doing
so-
that for a few years, and it's so cool.
Yeah, they have a dark jersey and a lighter jersey. I have the darker one. It was the first year they did it. They had like the away jersey.
Yeah.
Whatever. But it's awesome. It's awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, as we kind of wrap up here, what's in the future for the Prests?
Well, for president first.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
the first
Press for
agenda.
president.
Write-ins.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the press family is gonna challenge you to a game of golf.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll drive
Maybe
the
a-
cart.
Yeah, around at Whitmore, maybe around at your place.
Okay.
And
Little home and home.
Yeah, a little home and home. Yeah, and then we'll see.
A little Mid Rivers challenge, if you
yeah.
will. The Mid Rivers Cup.
Yeah, it's
The Mid Rivers Cup. That's funny.
Yes. Oh,
Good one.
Let's do it. Yeah, well played. I like that. Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess I'll get my lessons back on.
Yeah, I think you might need to
Zach,
get-
if you're watching.
I've been trying to get some lessons. It's just
Yeah.
tough for the schedule.
Yeah.
I think you might need to get unrusty.
I'll tell you what. We'll make it an even playing field.
Okay.
I'll call my coach Zach. We can both get lessons from Zach.
Okay.
I'll buy your first lesson with Zach,
Okay.
and then I'll graciously beat you in golf.
Great. Okay. Well, can we take my coaches on too? Do you want a lesson from one of our coaches? We have some, and some of them are Lindenwood
I mean, do you already have a
alumni.
coach? Do you already have? Do
No,
you have a golf
I mean
coach?
technically, no, I don't.
You can pick who you want, but I'll get you a lesson with mine if you want to go out. She's just gonna drive the beer cart.
Again, once again, I'm
Her
a
and
little
Eric.
bit loyal. I think I'm going to take lessons from
Okay.
my Whitmore coaches,
All right.
Lindenwood alumni.
All right. I mean,
Can't compete.
We have.
don't say I didn't
but
try to
I mean,
help.
No,
I'm just
I'm
kidding.
going to beat you with my Lindenwood coaches. How about that? Screw Zach. I don't even know that guy.
I don't even know that guy, but
He doesn't even go
All
here.
right, I'm going to have to go talk to my Whitmore coaches. That's it.
the duel has been set.
Oh, it's on.
Ladies and gents.
Well, I'll tell you what. If it rains on that date we set, we'll go up to Elevate and we'll play in the simulator. They got the TrackMan simulators. There's like 6 or 7 bays. At least we can get if we get a postponement, we'll
Okay.
stick to the date and we'll just go up to Elevate and, I'll snag a
And
bay.
Whitmore has simulators too.
Okay.
So if it rains on the
No,
Whitmore
neutral
day-
ground, bro.
No,
if we're
no,
not playing
oh.
outside, no, we're gonna go.
Oh
neutral.
wait, what simulator are we going to?
Elevate
Elevate. Where's that at?
up in Lake St. Louis.
Oh, I only know about the place in Chesterfield.
Yeah, no, we'll stay in St.
No,
Charles
okay,
County.
okay, I got
we'll
you.
stay.
No, I got you. I'm loyal. I'll stay in St.
I'll be on the
Charles.
aux. Send your suggestions.
Should be, you can find me at the bar.
I'll be in the bar cart on the aux.
The Mid Rivers Cup. We might have
Mid-Rivers
to do the pure athlete, like put on a tournament.
Yeah, we're gonna have to actually make a cup. It's
Okay.
gonna have to
I can
kinda
be in
look
charge
like
of
the
getting
Stanley
the cup.
Yeah.
I can get the cup.
Okay.
Yeah.
I feel confident in getting the cup.
Ooh, I think we just created something.
I think we did too.
With all the athletes we're seeing now, I'm sure we can get the families in on it.
Yes.
Oh,
and-
heck yeah.
Okay, so it's you and me.
So there's going to be a tournament
Your
within the
coach
tournament.
is my coach. I'll get the Whitmore coaches on
I'll
board.
get my coaches.
I'll save my $150. That's fine.
Oh no, my coaches are gonna beat your coaches.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Ooh, here we go. So it'll be me and Zach.
This is in the Rivers Cup.
It's a
I
duel.
love it. Yeah.
So I guess we're going to play foursome then. 2 and 2, or
yeah.
what are we?
2 and 2.
Is it straight up best ball, shamble? What do you want to play? You call it.
Oh, we gonna like.
There's different golfs.
Or match play? No.
Jizo.
Well, like I played in a format last year that like it was like the first 3 holes were scramble holes, and then it was like shamble, and then it was like best ball or I'm sorry match or whatever. Like you play your own. It was really fun that way.
Yeah.
It made it more difficult.
Now
So
this
we'll-
needs to be a cutthroat game of golf.
So we'll go home and home.
Mm-hmm.
How many holes are we playing at each? You have 2 courses.
Yeah.
We just have one awesome course. We don't need 2
Yeah.
courses. I'm just kidding. I'm not a shit talker usually. I don't know. why.
No, this
but
is
I
new for
am.
you.
I'm loving this. Like,
Yeah, she's like, this is
Yeah,
new
I'm
for
the
you.
shit talker. I'm sitting back.
yeah.
Well, let's just kind of call it now. How many do we want to just play 18 at each, or do you want to play,
We can play 18 at each. I mean,
or do you want to play 36 at each?
Oh God. A lot of-
We can. I mean, I just throwing it out there. I just don't want us to look back and be like, oh man, we should have played like 18 holes or 36 holes in each course,
Man, I mean,
or just do a 1-and-1.
should
Don't
we
matter.
consider this, make the parameters, and then go back on air and like
We'll
announce
update
the
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
announce the
We have to put it in
parameters?
writing.
We'll take it off the air.
I mean, this
look
can't
at her.
be a
She's
knee-jerk
her
thing.
competitive side. You can see it in her
Yeah.
eyes now. She's like, no, we're gonna figure this out. We
yeah.
can't do this.
I
out.
gotta. Let's think about this. No knee jerks. Yeah.
Handicap?
Let's make my handicap.
No, are we playing handicap or no? We'll figure it out off the air. Yeah, here I am. I see.
Yeah.
Now that I'm on it, now I just want to figure out what it is. But okay,
Yeah.
no, we'll figure it out.
We'll work it out.
Stay
We'll
tuned
work
for
out
the
This is
cup.
how you continue
Yes.
to be an athlete after being an athlete.
Stay tuned for
Exactly.
the Mid Rivers Cup.
the Mid Rivers Cup. I like that.
I am your MC.
Yeah.
Welcome back.
You're a great MC.
Thank you.
Hype man, MC hype man.
I'll be like, oh, he missed. So moving on.
Moving on. That was brutal.
all you hear. Oh yeah. Mute the mic for that part.
Swing lube. That's all it is. Yeah.
Well, thank you for coming on. This was super awesome.
Thank you very much for having me.
Absolutely. We're
Very fun time.
blessed to take care of you and help you with everything that you're going through now in your health and wellness
Doing
journey. If you ever, for some reason, you want to do a health and wellness day in Maplewood, you want me to come talk, speak, they have any questions down there, I'd love to be a resource
Yeah.
for them. I know we're not super local to there. We might have a South County location coming. I'll just leak that now.
Oh.
But if you want to bring me in, if they ever want anybody to talk, I'd be more than happy to do that for you.
Absolutely.
Down there in Maplewood. So, anything else?
No,
You want to drop it off?
no, I'm ready for this cup.
You're sponsored by the Pure Athlete. All right. Well, here we go. We'll update you on how that turns out. Hope you guys enjoyed. Leave us comment, feedback, subscribe. Sarge, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Doctor.
See ya.
Sir, doctor.
Sir, doctor. Bye.